Hi guys, I don't actually know how the lighting's going to be in this video. I am seriously sat in front of closed blinds. It's the weirdest thing. It is 12:30. Where did the time go? It's 12:30 and it's so bright outside that I can't actually film directly in front of the window with the blinds open. Winter light, YouTuber problems. But I suppose that's probably not the elephant in the room. It's probably more like what I look like. So I was supposed to film some videos this morning. I got up and I just thought, oh, this is not working for me. But instead of not filming the videos I need to film, what I thought I would do is do a little get ready with me and try and transform this to something that I want to sit on camera looking like. So, run you through it all. I've probably had a cold for about a month. And I've just been rubbish with my skincare, really kind of like face wipe, barely any moisturizer, that's it. So my skin is feeling really rubbish right now. Obviously my eye makeup's not 100% removed because I haven't done a proper cleanse in like a week. The only thing that I would say is great is my eyebrows. How amazing is this? These are actually my own eyebrows. Those of you that follow me for a while will know I've got the most terrible eyebrows, the worst eyebrows in the world, and these are my eyebrows. They've been tinted and shaped by Benefit, but the most important thing was I've grown them out with a treatment called Rapid Brow. Now, you know, talk amongst yourself in the comments and let me know what you think of that product, if you've used it or if you've got kind of other recommendations that are cheaper. Please feel free to talk about that. But the Rapid Brow that I've tried was absolutely amazing, so I would highly recommend it. And that's the one thing that's made me feel less terrible about wearing less makeup recently. I've kind of gone out a lot more often without makeup on purely because I feel like my face is framed. I always felt like a bit odd without doing my eyebrows before, whereas now you will see in this video I hardly do anything to them at all. I've also developed a spot on my lip. Who gets a spot here? What's that all about? An actual spot on my, like near my nose. What? So I'm gonna kind of really start from scratch here. I'm gonna take off whatever is on my face with a face wipe, and then I'm going to put on some, not a primer, but a bit of something that recently I've been really enjoying between my kind of skin and my makeup. So I suppose kind of a primer, but not quite a moisturizer either. But yeah, that's why I had the weird stuff on my lip. I think it's kind of diminished. The stuff that I use as a spot treatment, for those of you that haven't been watching me for a million years, is the Clean and Clear Dual Action Moisturizer. I just use it as an actual, like literally a dollop of it on something and it reduces it really quickly. Right, so there's two things that I could have to choose from now that I've been using a lot recently. One of them is the Aven Hydrant Optimal. It's basically like a moisturising serum, a hydrating serum. Really like this when my skin is feeling really dry and just like it's not going to work with me. The other one, when I'm having breakouts, which is, to be fair, not that often anymore. I feel like I'm almost 30 and my skin is finally catching up with that fact. So I'm not having the breakouts so much anymore, but when I feel like I'm particularly oily or my pores are particularly bad, the Effaclar Duo I absolutely love. I was using this at nighttime for a long time, and I do really like it at nighttime, but I'm using something else, again an Effaclar product, at night right now, as and when I can be bothered recently, but you know, as and when I can be bothered it's great. But I found that this is really, really nice between my skin and the makeup, so it doesn't affect the way that the makeup sits, but it does, I feel like I'm doing something good for my skin other than just moisturising. I feel like I'm doing something good for my skin, mainly my pores, and the areas that I feel like look a little bit congested if I don't have breakouts. But if I do, I can focus on those areas in a bid to kind of get this to sink in before the makeup gets on there and makes things worse. While that sinks in, and before I do my makeup, I'm going to do something to my hair. Look at this, it's hilarious. Yeah, that's what my hair looks like right now. So by the time you see this, because I'm filming slightly in advance, try and get ahead of myself for January, I will have been to the hairdressers. Isn't that great? Look at my roots right now. I mean, they're greasy, but my actual colour roots, they haven't been touched in months. Also, I still have the kind of broken section here, which is growing. It's really great. It is growing, but this is the plan. I'm actually going to have my colour done on the 2nd of January. I think that this video will go up slightly after that. So if you follow me on Instagram or my vlogs, whatever, you may have already seen it. My colour will get done on the 2nd, and then from there I'm going to make my appointment to have some extensions. I'm going to use this Technicolor from L'Oreal Morning After Dust, just very liberally. The reason I'm doing this before I do my makeup is to let it like sink in and absorb. I don't even know why I'm using so much because I'm only going to put my hair up anyway, but I kind of really cover my hair in it and then I let it absorb, and then by the time I take off my makeup I can rub it all in and it doesn't look like loads of residue, so I'll just pop that back up again whilst it does that. Yeah, the hair extensions that I'm having, you never know, but it's going to make me sneeze, are going to be like maximum to them, probably just past my shoulders, mainly to fill out my hair, because my hair, when it's not, you know, it's kind of just to my shoulders right now, or just kind of skimming my shoulders, so it's going to be marginally longer, but just fuller. So the areas that are broken have left me with really like bizarrely kind of mullet sections in my hair, and that's what it's going to do. So I will do a hair damage diary update. I have promised that I will, but for those of you that have been waiting, that's why I'm waiting to have that done before I do another update. But just a little weird kind of futuristic, that's what's going to be happening in the future, but as you watch this it will have already happened. That already messes with my mind. Okay, foundation I'm going to use is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. The colour that I have is Bone. Snigger, Bone. I'm just going to use, this is all I do, I like one, because people ask like how much of things that you use, one, and that's it, and then I make that last for my entire face. Estee Lauder Double Wear can be really, really heavy, and I think that just a little bit of it blended out, especially if you have, this is something that I've kind of come to be okay with in time, is putting something on between, like a moisturizer. Like, because I have oily skin, I've really tried to avoid using anything at all before my foundation and my makeup in the past, because I thought it would make my oiliness worse. Whereas with products like this, it really does help to have a little bit of something to help that foundation blend and stretch a little bit more, so that it's not super, super heavy, but it still lasts so long. So I'm impressed with this. I think by the time you see this you will have already seen my favourites for 2015, or my best of 2015. This morning I've spent so long writing lists and planning that video. I have no idea how I'm actually going to end up filming it, but that will have featured, because I just couldn't pick another foundation that I liked as much. I really miss Revlon's Colour Stay. I loved that so much, it was the best. And I, for a long time, would say to people, why? I'm just putting a little bit more on that annoying zit. I would say, why are you bothering with Estee Lauder Double Wear? Because Revlon Superstay or Revlon Colour Stay is just so good, and it's a fraction of the price. And so I kind of stayed away from it for a really long time, and I was one of those people like, super judgmental, but it's really, really amazing. And now Revlon Colour Stay doesn't compare. Everything changed about it. So I've kind of gone over to the dark side, I'm afraid. Concealer. I'm going to put a little bit of concealer on. I'm just actually going to use the Age Rewind from Maybelline. I'm going to use the brightening one that I've got that's a little bit pink. And I'm going to put that just on the inner area. I've been trying to avoid concealer because I think that, probably because I'm avoiding my skincare at night time, or not avoiding it, but I'm neglecting it, and I definitely don't drink enough water, I have some serious fine lines like around here. And I have a friend, she's called Laura. She's Laura's Eye View, I believe now, on YouTube. Hopefully she will come back to YouTube this year. And she's always had really dry skin, and she told me they were more like dehydration lines than real fine lines, because whenever she like used oils and things overnight or upped her water intake, they would disappear on her. And obviously with someone with dry skin, she's had more experience of that with me, than me. So I am trying this year. I'm going to up my water intake, I'm going to change my diet. I'm actually doing dry January. It makes me sound like an alcoholic, but I am. I'm doing it partly for potential weight loss, partly to see how my skin and just generally I feel, not drinking at all. Just partly, I don't know. I suppose they're both reasons. Partly all of those things. So we'll see whether or not I can up my intake of water and other things and generally be a little bit healthier, and see if that affects my skin. But I also want to lose a little bit of weight. I'm going to use this Barbara Daly Trade Secrets Dream Shine highlighter, which you can get from Tesco. Just like a liquid highlighter. The only liquid highlighter I've ever liked. Did I put my powder on? No, I didn't. It's like, am I doing this all wrong? I was going to use, I've got the Radiance Primer from Illamasqua. I really want to use that, but I'm scared. It's insane. Shall I put a little bit of it on and see what happens? It's probably crazy. I'll show you. Do you remember those Ico creams that people went crazy for? Like, it was a big YouTube fad. I'm going to put a little bit on and just see what it looks like. I think it's going to look mad. Okay, we'll see. You're supposed to put this all over your face. This is what makes me like, what? But I think as a highlighter it might be okay. But as a highlighter, that's going to last me a million years. We'll see. Okay, in this light, which is, you know, as I said, I'm practically sitting in a dark room. I can't get over how light it looks on camera. We'll see what this looks like in editing. But in this light, it doesn't look like much of anything. But in the pan, it looks, in the pot, it looks insane. So we'll see, we'll see. But that's the Radiance Veil from Illamasqua. Powder. Where's it gone? I'm going to use the H&M Porcelain True Matte Finishing Powder, which has been my favourite for a while, actually. It was a toss-up between the Superstay 24 from Maybelline and this one for my favourite for the year, but I think this one probably is it, because the Superstay can... I was going to say crease, that's not right at all. Superstay can oxidise and look kind of darker and more orangey as the day goes on, which is not really what you want, is it? Whereas this is very, very fine. This reminds me of that Tony Moly Cat compact that I've got that I really like, and I keep that in my handbag. Although whether it's there right now, I'm not 100% sure. Okay, I'm going to do very, very pared down eyes, and I'm going to try something with an old liquid liner that I used to absolutely love. This is Creamy Beige Colour Tattoo from Maybelline. I used to be a huge fan of the Exaggerate liquid liner from Rimmel. I was a big fan. Like, I think I made whole videos dedicated to it. I've always been a liquid liner fan. It's not been something that I particularly struggled with, and I thought that was the easiest one to use. So I would herald it as the easiest. I would tell people to buy it, my friends, everyone. And people would tell me it was really difficult, and I never really understood what they were talking about until recently, because I've been used to this one from the Balm, the Schwing, which is very, very fine. It looks like this. Loved this so much. I used this to death, totally used it up, and I will repurchase it. But I've come to this point, it's the very, very end of the year, and it's not super easy to get hold of things postage-wise. I've got one liquid eyeliner left that is still actually working, and it is the Rimmel Exaggerate. The reason that I've got it is because when I purchased it most recently, I actually didn't like it at all. It's very, very thick. I think the problem is that as you get older, you can't really see that, but it is. As you get older, it's more of a felt tip. It's got a very, very tiny little bit of a brushy, flexible tip, teeny bit in the end. The rest of it is basically a felt tip. As you get older, felt tip liners don't work so well because the skin on your eyes is a little bit more loose. And so when people go crazy for these felt tip eyeliners and they've got these real tight, young eyes, I'm like, yeah, well, maybe that works for you. Doesn't work for me. I just get a big jagged line. And that's been for maybe the past 4 or 5 years. So I'm not talking, you know, older eyes. It's just the kind of eyes that you've got. And mine are quite hooded, and so the skin on them is quite loose. But obviously there was a turning point for me where this became too felt tippy. But we're going to use this today, and I'm going to show you, I'm hoping this will work, hopefully it doesn't go terribly wrong, but I'm going to show you something that I saw, I think it was Mallory1712 do in one of her tutorials, and I don't normally watch tutorials, I'm not really all about that, but I really enjoy her tutorials because they're funny and she's just chatty throughout. I mean, this is obviously, as we are watching this right now, this is just me kind of talking to the camera as I do my makeup. It's more talking than it is makeup, and that's kind of what I like, that's what I want to watch. And so I was watching hers, although she's not as chatty as this. Tangent. I was watching hers and she did her eyeliner, and it was like, I can't believe I've never tried to do it like that. She did it in a way that she kind of took, I think she'd already done something on the bottom half, and she took the line of the bottom lid and used that as her line for a liquid eyeliner. Why have I never thought of doing that before? Genius. So that's totally revolutionised the way that I do my liquid eyeliner. And like I say, it's not something I've ever struggled with, but I've always struggled with getting the actual, what are they called, the wings even. And that has really helped. Famous last words. And that's kind of it. It's ridiculously simple, but it has totally revolutionised the way that I do my liquid liner. Still have a little bit of trouble evening them out a little bit, but on the whole, massively impressed with that. It definitely cuts down the time that it takes. Mascara wise, I'm going to use the Lash Sensational from Maybelline because it's the best. A testament to how good my brows are now is that I totally forgot about them. I'm not going to fill them in as I normally would. I'm going to use Benefit's Gimme Brow, which previously I didn't rate, but I'm going to use this, just kind of sweep it through my brows just to fill in those little bits and make them look a bit more polished. But this is literally all I've been using since I've had my brows done. This is it. I just do a little bit with this. It was okay before. I mean, I could get full brows with them. It's just it wasn't particularly precise looking. It's not really any good if you've got to kind of create them from nothing, which is what I used to have to do. Whereas now, perfect. I'm not going to do blush. I'm going to do a little bit of a contour. Something I was totally obsessed with a few years ago, I think maybe like 2 years ago, was this Tarte Exposure, which is kind of like a dark, it's like a browny rosy colour. And around this time of year, I always get a little bit more into contour and highlight than I do into blush. I feel like it can look a little bit weird with my very, very pale face and colour. So I do more of this. I'm going to use this, I'm using this blush brush more and more from Real Techniques, but I'm not sure whether or not I need to go back into something a little bit more defined, because this is just a bit, whoa, where does it go? It's kind of difficult to control where you put the product. I do try to just use the very end of it. And you know, you get a little bit of something, but I feel like maybe I need to go back to my angled brush for this. But I go just pretty much about where I would put my blush, so I don't do my contour kind of like in the hollow of my cheek. I use it as a blush and then I highlight a little bit higher than this. I find it to be quite flattering. Then I'm going to use the Freedom Highlighting Ambient. Do you know what? I think I prefer the diffused one. Why has this one made it into... Is it this one? I feel like I've been using the Ambient one when I mean to be using the diffused one. No, that's right. I feel like this should be called diffused. I don't know. It's the least kind of pop of all the highlighters I have. It's diffused. That's why it should be called diffused. It's very kind of soft focus. I love it. For lips, I'm going to go with something pretty basic that I've gone with pretty much all year, and it is MAC's Faux, but I'm going to put on a lip liner first to deepen it up, and it will be a Girl's Dream from Essence. I love these twist up liners from Essence. Really, really nice. This is quite a bit deeper and more kind of reddish. The texture is like, it's creamy, it's almost like a lipstick. And then this is Faux that I'm going to put on top. Quite a bit paler, but I love this because you can put it over the top of all kinds of stuff. Focus more in the middle section of my lips, and then I've left it a little bit darker towards the outside because that's kind of that contouring big lip thing that is popular right now, isn't it? And that is it. That's my get rid of me. Is that it? I think that's it. I feel like it's quite a transformation, guys, from the crazy haired person that came on to talk to you at the beginning of the video. I mean, the hair is still something. I'm just gonna kind of rub it in and then just put it back up again. I just didn't want it to look greasy. I'm trying not to do too much to it, given that I'm about to have a lot done to it in the next week or so, and probably at the end of the day today I'm going to do some kind of coconut oil doodah, so I didn't want to wash it just to put coconut oil all over it. That seems counterproductive. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bit of a new year. I mean, this is really basic. This is kind of my go-to kind of makeup. It's not too much eyeshadow. I like a winged liner, a little bit of mascara, brows. Everything's really neutral. Love it. Love it, love it. So, I will see you guys in my next video. I'm not 100% sure what it's going to be yet, but I think it might be my hair damage diary, given that by the time you see this, I will have new hair and I will have more to tell you. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! I'm really happy with them. I've got two sides of the same coin, basically. I've got really enjoy low cost, good value beauty products, and then everything else, basically.